Rising sea levels impacted the city of Seabrook, most notably in 2008 through Hurricane Ike. Hurricane Ike was a storm surge event. It came in as a weak Category 2, some might even argue a high Category 1. Offshore in the days before it came in, we thought it was going to be a Category 5. So we prepared as best we can, but it turned out to be a Category 4 storm surge event. We didn't get the high rain winds with it, but we ended up getting somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 and a half feet of water in our city. Our city's about 8 feet at sea level. So our response was interesting in that our city staff, who I have to give great kudos to, we had individuals that were on cruise ships halfway across the country that jumped on planes, flew back to Seabrook. We had staff members that were spending the night down at the wastewater treatment plant, which is trying to get that operating 24 hours, and walking through this aftermath of this water throughout our city, which also came through our wastewater treatment plant, so that was an additive bonus to have to deal with. But going out there, turning off gas valves and dealing with the people that wanted to come in and see what was going on to their homes, but they weren't allowed back in because we had to keep law enforcement out. In a city of our size, about 12,500 people, we're in the greater Houston-Galveston metropolitan statistical area, so it's about 6 million people in total that we're adjacent to. But even in those small little communities like that, people live there because it is a small community. That's what they're attracted to. So when you have your friends and neighbors and you're the police officer and you know them well and you maybe grew up and they knew you as a kid and you're having to stop them from entering the city limits, that was a tough burden for a lot of our folks to deal with. But we do what we have to do. We're professional. We run the city in that type of manner. That event got us involved. You learn trial by fire. That got us involved with dealing with FEMA, dealing with all the different agencies, the recovery process. We've learned from that. One of the things we do now is we maintain a high level of reserves in excess of 25% in our city budget. So, and have trash removal contractors on standby on contract so that we're able to write checks when they come in and do the job. Then we wait for the FEMA reimbursement. So we've been working in the region to develop a coastal storm surge barrier system. And our thinking was, rather than just to protect one group or one pocket, we would be able to protect the entirety of the region of 6 million plus people, the Houston-Galveston complex. With that amount of people that continue to move there because of the oil boom that had been going on, we were having over 1,000 people a day to come into our area. Housing stocks have gone up, commercial buildings, et cetera, and then also industry. It's a major petrochemical complex, refining industry, in addition to the Port of Houston. So this concerted effort between industry, local leaders, our economic development groups, and researchers from Texas A&M University Galveston, led by Dr. Bill Merrill, Dr. Sam Brody, and Rice University through the Speed Center. They came together after a little bit of cajoling on our part, so they didn't have competing designs, but they were able to come together, and they're now working in unison with, in addition to the University of Texas in Austin and Jackson State and Mississippi, to do storm surge modeling, the impacts, the cost-benefit analysis as we erect a coastal storm surge barrier. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Delft University in the Netherlands has joined us in on this project. What's great about the Dutch is they've been holding the sea back for many years, a century. They were devastated prior to the 50s. And what I like about their approach is they admit their mistakes. So Galveston Bay is an estuary. We sit at the northwest corner of it. So we have to make sure that we take into account the fisheries, the marine wildlife, the sports recreation, all that goes into it. The Dutch had a storm in the 50s, a similar sized bay. They blocked that bay off and they turned it into a freshwater lake. They put their shellfish industry out of business. So they admit their mistakes. That's what I like about their approach, is they know where they've gone wrong and they're willing to share those mistakes with us. So the universities of A&M at Galveston and Rice have engaged with the Dutch They took us over as a delegation of local mayors, in addition with our state legislative delegation, to go firsthand a year ago and see what projects they're doing down in the Delta Works. So we're hoping we can take some of those concepts and bring those back and put them in place for the Houston-Galveston region. Well, so a project like this is several $billion. It's not something that can be done at the local level. You know, the city municipality, the city of Seabrook, I'm $12 million annual budget. You know, I don't have the resources or anything to do that. We do have to depend on the feds to do this, but we need to understand, one, that it fits with the environment, that it protects industry, and that it protects the residential public safety in that area. The feds have that ability through modeling, through resources to come in and assist us with that. My hope is that they'll understand that we'll rather than investing in recovery post a storm event or a storm surge, tidal surge event, that they'll invest in protection, prevention of that storm surge event. So we need to have that dialogue change at the federal level from recovery to prevention. That being said, that requires an investment today and not in the future. Hopefully we'll be able to get that message across here today. Well, I think the key part is we're all here because it's bipartisan. So we haven't had any great discussion today about the causes of this sea level rise, but we're not here to debate the science, and that you can look out the window and see through, if you lived on the coast any amount of time, that the sea level is rising. I can see the pictures on the glacier melt and things that we all see that. There's no really debate on that. So we're focused on that aspect of how do we come together as a group of elected officials from different regions. Florida is different from Seabrook, is Hoboken, New Jersey, and I've learned from different mayors here today and state representatives what they're trying to do in their local area. Some ways I'm encouraged because I think we're a little bit ahead of everyone, and in other ways I know we still have work to do. So we've picked up a lot of ideas here, and I think we can take those back and apply them local level, and I'm very appreciative of it.